What's going on, you guys? Coaster here, and obviously you've probably seen the news. As the headline says, Mike Leach has passed away of a lot of complications, a heart attack, and a mix of other things. Really, it was just a hard night when I first saw that news on Sunday, late into the night, when they already said he was in critical condition. Uh, yeah, I'm very sad over this. It was devastating to just kind of read that, and I couldn't sleep on Sunday when I first saw the news. Now, Mississippi State was a program, obviously, that's been quietly underrated. He looked like he was building some good things out there. They were a competitive team. And really, I just saw even how Mississippi State, I was in Starkville back in October. You could see my past videos, and the apathy was still not there yet. But as the season wore on, I could tell fans are starting to show up a little more, and I really loved just being there. Even in Starkville, I got my bell, and what was really cool when I was down there is like the handles. Some of them had the sword handled for Mike Leach, and how much he was a pirate, and he was remembered. So I'll always remember just being down in Starkville. Good memories. Well, things that I think about with Mike Leach, I think about how he was innovative on offense. I think about how fun he was of a coach. He was very colorful, just from the media, the way he would talk. He was always speaking his mind, and he'd always come up with something fun and creative. I remember seeing a rant about him in relationships with people, or I think he was talking about like a girlfriend or something, and he was giving somebody advice about that, or someone about marriage, who was even talking about the candy he doesn't like or likes. It's hilarious. And the reason why a lot of us like Mike Leach, he had some controversy. He didn't go out with, was it Texas Tech? Obviously, there was that scandal how he treated a player, but overall, when I think about Mike Leach, I just think about authenticity because he was himself. One thing we know, and just in the world and life, you have to be yourself. You can't try to emulate or be someone else. You're going to be seen through it. You're called out as a phony. That's just the natural thing. You can't try to act like somebody else. You have to find your identity. And Mike Leach was one of those guys who you could always tell how he would keep things real. I always loved that in his interviews. Now, he was not a legacy coach. He was not some championship winning coach that obviously won national titles or necessarily came close to contention. I think Texas Tech, he came close one year. It was that year where they were undefeated. They lost to Oklahoma. He was part of that. I believe he was the coordinator for Bob Stoops at Oklahoma. I didn't get to watch him that long ago. I saw him, really his Texas Tech tenure is where he stood out. And I always remember just how fun that spread offense was to watch. It was creative, it was interesting, it was innovative, and it's still an influence on coaches today. I mean, look no further than Lincoln Riley, Dana Holgerson. I don't have all the coaches off the top of my head. And then, of course, we think about players. I think Wes Welker and Michael Crabtree are two of the ones I could think of without cheating. I know there's a lot more players that made it to the pros, probably from Washington State and even more recently Mississippi State guys have made it to the pros. I'm sure he's influenced a lot of guys, just as any coach would, who's seen a lot of players, coaches come and go. Some, of course, that become leaders elsewhere. It was nice to just see a lot of people united from all over America. This is the thing about college football. A lot of people, like if you're in the Northeast or even the West Coast, I know a lot of people don't really care about this stuff. I'm a West Coast native, yet college football, I didn't have any ties to Washington State, Texas Tech, or Mississippi State, but even I'm so aware of Mike Leach and what he was. And it was nice to see everyone just united from all over America, all the coaches, every coach you could think of, programs, everyone behind him while he was ill, and very sad that it's confirmed he passed away today, or maybe even last night. I mean, when I saw that he was in critical condition on Sunday, it was sad, and then on Monday, the reality was sinking in when one of the reporters, I think, said he was going through the equivalent of hospice. I mean, I know what it's like to lose people right around Christmas time. I've lost my own parent before at Christmas, and the memories kind of stand, especially in the holiday season. For those of you who've lost a loved one or someone you knew around the holidays, especially, my condolences to you, whether it's in the past or the present. My thoughts and prayers really go to his family and those who knew him up close. It just happened very suddenly. We've learned that life is short. We know I've learned it the hard way. We've seen celebrities come and go. We've seen some celebrities that have died at a much younger age. Mike Leach was 61. He was still coaching. He was active. I think he still had another 10 years in him before retirement. And I thought, he still didn't look like he was completely past his prime yet as a coach. Said not a legacy coach, not one of those greatest coaches of all, but he was a fun coach and a colorful coach for what he was, and still an innovator and a father figure for some of the many coaches that he influenced since. So his legacy and his style of offense and a lot of things that he's done will live on. I'm just very, very saddened that for those, especially those who knew him up close from all three universities, and even the ones before that where he was an assistant. I know at Kentucky, he worked in Kentucky. He worked at multiple schools as a coordinator and position coach before that. May he rest in peace to the Mad Pirate. I mean, I've just loved his obsession with pirates because I was a pirate as well. I've always liked his style of things. He was a unique guy for sure. So, I don't know what kind of things you think of when you think of Mike Leach, but may he rest in peace. Hail State.